The Business Owners Podcast is brought to you by Business and Enovar Group with your hosts, Linda Reid Enovar and Clive Enovar. In each episode, we talk to other business owners about their experiences, challenges, and successes. We'll also share tips and advice on how to grow your business and achieve your goals. If you're a business owner or you're thinking about starting a business, then the Business Owners Podcast is for you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Business Owners Podcast. In this episode, my guest is Rose Davidson. Rose Davidson has been a member of the business community for a while, and she has her own unique way of doing things that helps you as a business owner get out there and share your story. I would like to introduce Rose, and I would like to thank her for having me on her podcast, Talking with the Experts. And now we get them to return the favour and interview Rose and get to know a little bit about her on the Business Owners Podcast.
Hi, I'm Rose Davidson, a podcast host, producer, coach, and the creative mind behind Talking with the Experts podcast. My mission? Harnessing the power of online media to amplify voices globally through coaching others how to use podcasting as a tool for global recognition. I am the co-author of a bestseller, and my insights have graced the pages of Brains magazine and beyond. Drawing from over 3 decades of administrative and creative experience, I've mastered the art of memorable content through vivid imagery and videos. Beyond business, my heart lies in making real change. As the co-founder of Healing Through Love Global, we're taking strides to end domestic violence, offering victims not just hope, but actionable strategies to heal. And as the Secretary of Global Lamping Charities, we envision a world where homelessness, whether from calamities or personal crises, becomes a thing of the past. When it comes to making an impact, I believe in the power of collaboration, creativity, and compassion.
Welcome, Rose. It is so great to have you on the Business Owners Podcast. I'm very excited to delve into this episode with you and get to know a little bit about podcasting with your expertise. We like to start the Business Owners Podcast with a few key questions that allow us to get to know you and your business journey. Is it coffee, tea, or something else?
I'm a coffee drinker. I love my coffee hot and black. Doesn't necessarily have to be strong, but yeah, hot and black. And I drink about 8 cups a day, sometimes 10, depending on what I'm doing. Yeah, I do drink tea. Not that I dislike tea. I just prefer my coffee. I don't know why. Just not that it keeps me awake because, I can drink coffee before I go to bed and I can still sleep. So it's nothing to do with the caffeine that's in the coffee, that's for sure.
Are you an early bird or a night owl? Or can you do a little bit of both?
A night owl, that's me. Yes, I'm a night owl. You'll quite often find me going to bed at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, which means I don't usually get out of bed till about 10 or 11 in the morning, so that I can have enough sleep. If I don't get enough sleep, then I'm a cranky pants and don't talk to me for the rest of the day. Pretty much how it is at my house. I don't get my creativity on till about 7 o'clock at night for some odd reason. I don't know. It's been like that for years. Even when I was doing craft work, I got most creative after 7 o'clock at night. It's just really very strange.
What book are you currently reading and why can't you put it down?
I'm not a book reader. I used to be as a child. I used to be an avid reader, but, life happened and stuff got in the road and I just lost interest in reading books. But I read a lot of online articles and blogs, so that keeps me informed. This is where I get most of my knowledge from, is by reading, articles and blogs.
And what is one word to describe your journey so far?
Life journey. Well, that's a good question. I would call my life interesting. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. I wouldn't change anything though, because if I changed it, then I wouldn't be the person that I am now. And I like the person that I am now.
Now it's time for us to hear a little bit about your journey. How did you get started in your profession or your field? Was it something that you first started in? Was it something that maybe you fell into? How did you get started?
I left the corporate world in 2015. I didn't like being a temp worker anymore. So I thought, I have all these admin skills. Why don't I use them to either teach others or to do work for them? So I'd had this brilliant idea that I'd start my own business, offer my admin skills to female entrepreneurs, and what I got was crickets. I couldn't understand it. And then, this went on for about 2 years and I got the odd job now and again, but nothing that was ongoing. And I realized that, either my skills were not a match for the people who I was looking for, or they weren't looking for my skills. So I decided that I'd go and do something else. So I changed focus of my business and I started offering online event management. And, I got a few jobs out of that. And that went on for another couple of years. And I had a job here, there and whatever, but nothing ongoing, nothing to, make a living out of. And then the pandemic hit in 2020. And didn't that put a whole lot of brakes onto everything, especially to bricks and mortar businesses who had to close their doors because of lockdown? And that's what I noticed, that a lot of bricks and mortar businesses were closing their doors, and a lot of them didn't realise that they could take their bricks and mortar business and turn the business into an online business. I'd heard of podcasting and I'd listened to a few of them, and I thought, gee, I'd done a bit of live streaming and I quite enjoyed the interview process. So I thought, why not start a podcast? That's what I did. I had the idea just about the end of June, and by July, I had my podcast up and going. I didn't do a big launch or anything. I had no idea what I was doing. I, searched Google for all the information I could find, and really it was all quite confusing. So I thought, I'll just do it my way, which I did.
Was there any defining moments within your journey? What was the moment that, was clear to you that this was the thing that was going to work for you or wasn't going to work for you? And just explain that a little bit for us.
So I had my first interview on the 13th of July of 2020. And since then, I've interviewed over 500 people and I've really enjoyed that journey. It's been an amazing ride and I've met some wonderful people. Sam Cawthorne of Speakers Institute. He was once Young Australian of the Year. There's been Ronsley Vaz, who is a well-known entrepreneur in podcasting circles. And then there's James Whittaker. He was the producer of a movie. They're probably my 3 stars that I've interviewed. But, amongst the 500, there are a few others that stand out. But, they're probably my 3 biggest names, I guess, that I've interviewed. Although I did receive an email from Grant Cardone's Speakers Bureau asking me if I would interview his speakers on my podcast. So it was a big surprise when I got that email. Trust me, it was one of those defining moments, I guess, to say that maybe I'd finally arrived and that this podcasting gig was worth all the effort and heartache and tears and sweat and long hours.
Have there been any influential figures in your life or career so far that have got you to this stage?
I guess, through my journey, there have been people that I look up to, that I admire. I don't know that anyone's particularly influenced me in my life, but, people like yourself, Linda, you've been on my podcast, you've also been, spoken at one of my summits, and I admire the work that you do. And I think we've known each other for a long time, not, closely, of course, but we've been in each other's proximity, and you are one of the people that I admire. There are others that I do admire, and some of them have become my friends, and they've offered their knowledge to me and helped me through my little crises that I've had during the last few years. And without them, I probably wouldn't be where I am now. And I'd be such a strong person without them helping me along with my business and just keeping me on the straight and narrow, I guess, and being the person who, lights the flame under my feet to keep me going and encouraging me not to give up, because being in business is, as you know, is quite hard. And sometimes you just have those days you think, it's all worth it? And do you want to keep continuing on? So I guess, I don't have any influential figures, but I do have several people that I admire and I have taken advice from and followed what they do. And, it's helped me in my business.
It has been my honour to be part of your journey and influence and help you along the way. So the future of business is always changing. It's an important question that we ask you in the Business Owners podcast about the future of your industry. So how do you want to shape the future and the profession of your field? Are there any dream projects or collaborations that you wish to pursue within your field?
Podcasts are one of the easiest and most cost-effective ways to market a service-based business and to offer to an audience exactly what they might be looking for. Podcasts are also a fantastic way to connect with potential customers who are interested in what you have to say. And, you can become an expert and a celebrity in your field, because podcasting is only in its infancy, even after all these years, there's only just over 3 million podcasts in the world compared to 600 million blog posts. So, for podcasting to catch up, we need a lot more podcasters. And I don't think there's enough people teaching that. So I decided a couple of months ago that I was going to launch my own 6-week program where I teach service-based business owners how to create and launch a successful podcast using my proprietary Opal system.
What advice would you give to someone else starting out in this domain? Because they are the future of our industries, and it's important as business owners we encourage and we support them along the journey.
I guess if I were to offer any advice on starting a podcast, is that all you need to start is a camera, a microphone, a quiet place to do your podcast and some good lighting, and just make sure you've got about 4 episodes done before you launch your podcast so that whilst you're interviewing other people, you have backlog of content to share.
So that is so true. Sometimes we overcomplicate the getting started of things. Sometimes we just need to get a few things underway and get started. And as you mentioned, a good microphone, a quiet place gets us started in our podcasting journey. Before we wrap up this Business Owners podcast, we like to ask our guests 2 questions. One is, how do you balance your personal life and your business? And the next one is, can you share with us a challenge you have faced and how you've overcome it so that it might help others listening to the Business Owners podcast?
I know all the philosophy behind self-care, and, I'm always telling others that they should at least practice it once a week. But even I don't take my own advice, and I know I should, but it's not something that I feel comfortable doing.
I understand that too, Rose. Sometimes we get so involved in our business or so involved in delivering for our clients, we forget our own philosophy and the things that we teach, and we need a little bit of a reminder to keep doing our own things. I would like to thank you for joining us on the Business Owners podcast and being one of our first guests.
Thanks, Linda, for having me on your podcast. I really enjoyed the experience, and I hope that they've gained some valuable insights into how podcasting can help their business.
Make sure you connect with Rose with the details that we've shared with you in the show notes. And we look forward to sharing more great business stories with you in the Business Owners podcast. Until next time, happy listening.
Thanks for listening to the Business Owners podcast. We encourage you to connect with us on social media and join our community of business owners at businessbusinessbusiness.com.au.
Working across teams is tough, but Asana helps you handle it. That's because Asana is where humans and AI coordinate work together. AI can spot roadblocks and assign work in a snap, so everything and everyone stays on track. That's how work gets handled. That's Asana. Visit us at asana.com. That's ASANA.com.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip: when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.